Young people, the first thing I want you to understand is that failure is not something you should fear. On the contrary, it is a great learning opportunity. I myself have been rejected from more than 30 jobs. Even KFC rejected me. But you know what? Every time I failed, it was a chance to grow and understand something new. If everything is always going well, you'll never learn how to deal with challenges. What I always say is, fail early, fail a lot. When we fail, we become stronger. Failure teaches us resilience, a skill that immediate success doesn't give us. When we started Alibaba, nobody believed in us. Everyone laughed at our idea of creating an e-commerce platform in China. But I've always known that those who are afraid to fail will never see true success. One of my favorite sayings is, a blind man riding on the back of a blind tiger. This means that in the beginning, I didn't have total clarity about how Alibaba was going to win, but I kept going, trying. The journey of an entrepreneur is full of uncertainties. You will face obstacles, but it is in the most difficult moments that we discover how capable we are. Every mistake is a chance to refine your strategy and become better. Remember, if you've never failed, it's because you've never tried anything new. You're young, you have the energy and the ability to take risks, so why not? Failure is temporary, but learning is eternal. You need to believe in yourself, even when no one else does. I remember when I started Alibaba. I shared my vision with 24 friends at my house, and 23 of them said I was crazy. They couldn't see what I saw. And you know what I thought? If not now, when? If not me, who? Self-confidence is something you must develop and protect. Often, people around you will try to discourage you, not because they're bad, but because they can't see what you see. But if you don't believe in yourself, who will? If I had given up at the first criticism, Alibaba would never have become what it is today. Believe in your dreams, but also be willing to learn. Trusting yourself doesn't mean ignoring feedback. On the contrary, it means knowing how to listen and grow with it without losing your vision. True trust is flexible. It adapts, but it never breaks. And remember, it's okay to change course, but never give up on the goal. You are the leaders of the future. And the world needs more young people who have confidence in their ideas and their ability to make a difference. Remember, everyone starts out unknown. It's not easy, but who said it would be? Success begins the moment you decide to believe in yourself, despite everything. No matter how talented someone is, without perseverance, talent alone is not enough to win in life. When we were a small company, we competed with giants like eBay. They had more money, more resources, and more experience. But you know what we had that they didn't? Perseverance. We simply refused to give up. I always say that talent is something you can be born with, but perseverance is a daily choice. Everyone can be talented at something, but few have the ability to persevere when the going gets tough. And believe me, things will get tough. You will doubt yourself. People will doubt you. But the difference between those who succeed and those who don't is the ability to keep going. I once said, if everything is ready, it's already too late. This means that if you wait for the perfect moment, you'll never act. The road to success is full of uncertainties, but that shouldn't paralyze you. You need to keep going even when you don't feel ready. Persistence is what will turn your vision into reality. And one last thing. Perseverance also involves patience. You need to understand that success doesn't happen overnight. You are planting the seeds now, and you will reap the rewards later. Stay firm, trust in the process, and above all, never give up. Today, we live in a world that changes every second. If you don't innovate, you'll be left behind. When I started Alibaba, most people in China didn't have access to the internet. I had to be creative. I had to innovate. Nobody believed that e-commerce would succeed in China. And guess what? Today, we're one of the biggest platforms in the world. Innovation doesn't mean reinventing the wheel, but thinking of better ways to solve problems. I always say to my employees, what can you do today that hasn't already been done? That's what sets you apart from the rest. If you just follow what everyone else is doing, you'll never be a leader. But innovation requires courage. You have to be willing to take risks. Creativity and innovation are born when you step out of your comfort zone. The best ideas come from moments of crisis or need. And here's the key. Failure is part of the innovation process. You're going to make mistakes, and that's fine. The important thing is to learn from those mistakes and keep trying. So young people, think differently. Don't be afraid to dream big. The world needs new ideas, and those ideas can come from you. Be creative, be innovative, and never be afraid to challenge the status quo. If there's one thing I've learned on my journey, it's that no one achieves success alone. From the very beginning of Alibaba, I knew that in order to turn my vision into reality, I would need an exceptional team. I've always believed that the strength of a company lies in its team. If you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go as a group. That's the secret. When I started, I didn't understand technology. I knew that to build a successful technology company, I would need the best people. I didn't need to be the smartest, but I did need to find people with skills that complemented my own. The role of a leader is not to do everything, but to know where to put the right people at the right time. Leading a team requires trust. You need to learn to delegate and, most importantly, to trust the people who are by your side. Many leaders fail because they want to control everything. But real success comes when you allow your team to grow, make decisions, and take responsibility. A motivated team with the freedom to create makes all the difference. I always say, Alibaba's success is not mine. It belongs to every team member who has worked tirelessly to make the company grow. When you have people committed to a common goal, you can overcome any obstacle. An aligned team can achieve anything. And here's an important tip. Take good care of the people around you. A great leader is one who inspires and cares for their team. If you invest in your team, they will give their best. Individual success is meaningless if it is not shared. You young people need to understand that true power lies in creating together, in collaborating, in dreaming, and achieving as one. So remember, the future belongs to those who know how to work as a team. If you want to succeed, choose the right people, look after them, and grow together. That's the key to building something truly great. In today's world, everything is changing faster than ever. Technology advances, markets evolve, and consumer behavior changes constantly. If you want to succeed, you need to adapt quickly. We can no longer afford to think that things will stay the same. If there's one thing I've learned over the years, it's that the ability to adapt is more important than the knowledge you already have. When I founded Alibaba, the internet in China was practically non-existent. Many people said that e-commerce would never work in our country. We could have given up and taken a safer route, but we decided to adapt to the needs of the market and carry on. We changed our approach several times, always adjusting our strategy to keep up with the changes, and that's what made the difference. I always say, if everything is ready, it's already too late. Waiting for the perfect moment to act is a mistake. Opportunities appear when you are willing to move quickly and courageously. Adaptation is not just a question of survival, it's a question of seizing opportunities before they disappear. Adaptation also involves being open to continuous learning. You young people are entering a world where today's knowledge may not be relevant tomorrow. So never stop learning. Always be aware of new technologies, trends, and changes around you. This will allow you to adjust your mindset and skills according to what the world needs. Remember, those who don't adapt are left behind. You need to be quick, agile, and flexible. If you can develop this skill, you'll be prepared for whatever changes the future brings. If you want to be successful, you must be prepared to face many challenges. It won't be easy, and it will often be painful. But it is in these moments that resilience becomes one of your greatest strengths. Life will test you again and again, and success is reserved for those who, instead of giving up, choose to keep going. On my journey, I have faced many challenges. When Alibaba was in its infancy, we went through financial crises, were pressured by the competition, and it often felt like failure was on our doorstep. But what I always kept in mind was the importance of a resilient mindset. I knew that if I gave up, everything we dreamed of would have been in vain. That's why I kept moving forward, even when the path seemed impossible. Resilience is the ability to get back up, no matter how many times you fall. When you face a setback, and I guarantee you will, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Every challenge is a lesson in disguise. Don't think of failure as an end, but as a natural part of the journey. I always remind my team, you only really fail when you give up. The world of business and entrepreneurship is a roller coaster. There will be ups and downs, but what matters is how you deal with the downs. A resilient mindset is one that finds solutions even in the worst of circumstances. So, young people, when the going gets tough, and it will, remember that true strength comes from persistence. You are stronger than you think, and each challenge you face will only make you better prepared for the next. If there's one thing I believe deeply, it's that true success comes not just from making money, but from serving others. If you want to create a lasting impact on the world, you need to start with the mindset of helping. Money is a consequence, not the end goal. When my team and I founded Alibaba, our purpose was not to get rich, but to help small businesses in China reach the global market. I always say, customers are our number one priority. The team is number two, and shareholders come last. That's because if you serve your customers well and look after your team, success will come naturally. Putting the well-being of others first creates a positive cycle that goes far beyond immediate profits. Serving others also means thinking about how your company or project can solve real problems. When you think about serving, rather than just earning, you start to see opportunities that you didn't see before. That's how Alibaba grew. Instead of focusing only on profits, we focused on how we could make life easier for our users. This kind of approach creates trust, loyalty, and in the long run, a much greater impact. You need to ask yourself, how can I add value to the people around me? No matter what career or business you choose, the ultimate goal should always be to create something that benefits others. When you live to serve, the impact you leave will be remembered far beyond the numbers. In the end, service is a meaningful choice. And believe me, the world needs more young people who think like that. Victories are sweet, but it's defeats that teach us the most important lessons. Throughout my life, I have learned much more from my failures than from my successes. Every time I've fallen, I've gotten up with more wisdom and more determination. If you don't learn to deal with defeats, you won't be prepared for victories. When Alibaba faced crises, I knew it was a learning opportunity. I always asked my team, what did we do wrong? How can we improve? We weren't afraid to acknowledge our mistakes because we knew that the answers to success were hidden in them. When you face defeat, the worst thing you can do is ignore it. Every failure contains a valuable lesson. Success alone does not teach. When things are going well, it's easy to get complacent. But it's in moments of difficulty that we really grow. Learning from defeats means taking an honest look at what went wrong and having the courage to change. It's not about avoiding failures, but using them to improve. This is resilience and constant learning. Believe me, defeats are temporary, but the lessons they bring are lasting. You are young and have plenty of time to learn, make mistakes, and grow. Don't be afraid of failing. Be afraid of not learning from your failures. That's what makes all the difference between those who just dream and those who turn their dreams into reality. Finally, I want to say something very important. The world is changing fast, and the only way to keep up is to never stop learning. When I was young, the internet didn't exist. Today, it is the basis of our world. Technology changes, demands change, and if you stop learning, you'll be left behind. I always say, the biggest investment you can make is in yourself. Learning is not just about acquiring technical knowledge, but also about yourself. Formal education is important, but the real learning happens when you step out of your comfort zone, when you face challenges, explore new ideas, and allow yourself to make mistakes. You need to be curious. Read, talk to people from different fields, learn new skills. Knowledge is the one thing no one can take away from you, and it's what will keep you relevant in any market or situation. What you learn today is what will define who you are tomorrow. And remember, the learning journey never ends. Every day is a new opportunity for growth. In the future, the real leaders will be those who know how to adapt and learn along the way. So never stop. Success always lies ahead for those who are willing to keep learning. If you want to build the future, start learning now. If not now, when? If not you, then who? The future belongs to you. Good luck, and I'll always be here supporting you.
Have you ever felt that no matter how hard you try, the world seems to be against you? That mistakes and failures are constant, and success seems a distant reality? The truth is that many of you are holding on to beliefs that are blocking you. Jack Ma went through this too. At the beginning of his journey, Jack Ma was rejected more than 30 times, including at KFC. But do you know what he discovered? That failure is one of the best fuels for success. Imagine this. You don't have to be the smartest or the most prepared. What will set you apart is the ability to persist and adapt quickly. If everything seems ready and perfect, it's already too late. If you wait for the ideal moment, others will have already occupied the space that should be yours. If not now, when? If not you, who? In this video, we share with you 10 powerful lessons that Jack Ma has learned along the way, which have transformed the way he sees the world and business. We talk about why perseverance is more valuable than talent, how embracing failure can take you further than you think, and how creativity can be your greatest weapon in a world that changes every second. If you follow these steps, you'll start to see changes much sooner than you think. Each of these lessons could be the turning point in your life. And the best part, they're simple, practical, and can be applied right now. Let's discover together how to turn failures into stepping stones to success. Subscribe to the channel and always come back here when you need an extra dose of energy. Failure is a word that often scares people. But Jack Ma, the founder of Alibaba, sees it as one of the most powerful teachers. He has mentioned many times that failure played an essential role in his journey to success. If we look at his own story, being rejected from countless jobs and even university didn't stop him from trying. Each failure was another lesson, another opportunity to grow. Jack Ma's approach teaches us that failure is not the end, but rather the beginning of a new chance to do things differently. When we fail, our first reaction might be frustration, but Jack encourages us to replace that feeling with curiosity. What can I learn from this? It's an approach that, in the long run, transforms every obstacle into a lesson. During the early days of Alibaba, Jack Ma faced numerous difficulties. If he had given up after his first failures, we wouldn't have the e-commerce giant that exists today. The real key here is resilience. Transforming failure into opportunity requires not just identifying mistakes, but also coming back stronger and with more innovative strategies. In business, this might mean pivoting an idea, adjusting a business model, or simply persisting a little longer. Jack Ma embodies this belief with his unshakable faith in Alibaba's potential, even when few believed in the project. There's a famous quote by Thomas Edison that Jack Ma likes to refer to. "I have not failed 10,000 times. I've successfully found 10,000 ways that will not work." That's the spirit. If Edison had given up, would we have the electric light bulb today? This kind of thinking shows that every attempt that doesn't succeed is simply another step toward success. And that's the mindset Jack Ma encourages young people to adopt. In the end, failure is inevitable, but it doesn't have to be the final destination. As Jack frequently emphasizes, if you learn to accept failure as a chance to grow, you will always be one step ahead. Now, believing in yourself is the first step toward turning dreams into reality. And Jack Ma is a living example of this philosophy. When he was starting out, few believed that a small Chinese startup could compete with global giants. But Jack didn't let others' doubts affect his self-confidence. He knew that to achieve success, he had to trust his vision, even when no one else could see it. One of Jack's most impactful pieces of advice is simple but powerful. If you don't believe in yourself, no one else will. This belief in oneself is what drives bold actions, risky decisions, and persistence, even in the face of adversity. Often, young people are discouraged by external criticism, but true strength comes from within. Unshakable confidence not only motivates but also inspires others to believe in you. Throughout his journey, Jack Ma faced many rejections, from job applications to funding requests for his company. However, he never let external opinions dictate his future. When everyone around him doubted Alibaba's potential, he pressed forward. A practical example of how self-belief can shape destiny is Jack's decision to keep investing in the platform, even when market analysts predicted it would fail in the competitive market. Self-belief often needs to be cultivated, especially in a world where comparisons are inevitable. Jack highlights that each person's path to success is unique, and you shouldn't allow others' skepticism to define your value. It's like running a long-distance race. Those who focus on other runners end up distracted, losing their own pace. The key is to keep moving toward your dream, regardless of what others say. The message is clear. Believing in yourself, even when no one else does, is what separates those who achieve their dreams from those who give up halfway. Jack Ma is proof that with faith in your own vision and abilities, the impossible becomes possible. But belief is only part of the equation. The other key is perseverance, which we'll explore next. If Jack Ma has taught us anything, it's that perseverance often outweighs natural talent in almost every situation. He frequently mentions that many of the most successful people he has met throughout his life weren't necessarily the most talented, but they were the most persistent. After all, talent can take you only so far, but the ability to keep trying, even when things get tough, is what determines long-term success. A clear example Jack uses is his own journey with Alibaba. When he started, he didn't have much technical talent. In fact, he had limited knowledge of technology. However, his determination and willingness to learn along the way made up for that. On many occasions, Jack has stated that talent without persistence is like a car without fuel. You may have a great vehicle, but you won't go anywhere without the drive to keep it moving. Perseverance means treating every setback as an opportunity to try again, this time with more experience. In the case of Alibaba, there were many moments when success seemed far away. However, Jack Ma and his team never stopped working toward their vision, adapting, learning, and growing with each failure. This kind of persistence is what he believes truly separates those who succeed from those who give up. Another important aspect of perseverance is that it builds character. As you go through tough times and keep pushing forward, you develop a resilient mindset that is hard to break. Perseverance also teaches patience, something Jack believes is crucial in both business and personal life. No matter how talented you are, without the patience to see your work come to fruition and the determination to keep nurturing your vision, success will be short-lived. In the end, talent might be a great starting point, but it's perseverance that leads to the finish line. And as Jack Ma always says, you may not be the most talented, but you can be the most persistent. This is valuable advice, especially for young people who are often pressured to achieve quick results. The real secret lies in continuing, even when the path seems tough. And this brings us to another crucial ingredient for success: innovation and creativity. While perseverance keeps you on the path, It's innovation and creativity that will make you stand out. Jack Ma firmly believes that in a rapidly changing world, innovation isn't optional. It's a necessity. He often highlights that you can't achieve success by merely following the same formulas that have been used before. To him, thinking creatively and disruptively are the keys to unlocking new opportunities in the global market. A prime example of innovation in Jack Ma's journey was how Alibaba positioned itself within the e-commerce space. While many saw China's lack of digital infrastructure in the 1990s as a barrier, Jack saw an opportunity. He not only innovated by creating a platform that connected small businesses to the world, but also led the digital revolution in a country hungry for progress. His success came from not being afraid to try something new, unlike the Western giants dominating the market. Creativity, according to Jack, isn't just about having big ideas. It's about applying those ideas in ways that solve real problems. In the global market, problems are plentiful, and businesses that can innovate and adapt to consumer needs will always have a competitive edge. This is especially important for young people entering the workforce now. They need to be able to look at the world's challenges creatively, proposing solutions that others haven't thought of yet. Jack Ma also believes that innovation isn't something you do once and stop. True innovation is continuous. He often compares innovation to physical exercise. The more you practice creativity, the easier it becomes to generate new ideas and solutions. Instead of waiting for the answers to come to you, he encourages young people to be proactive in seeking out ways to reinvent themselves constantly. In the end, the world is constantly changing, and the ability to innovate is what differentiates those who simply follow the crowd from those who create their own path. Of course, no one can do this alone, and that brings us to the next essential ingredient for success: the power of teamwork. Innovation may be crucial, but Jack Ma always emphasizes that no one can achieve great success on their own. The power of teamwork is one of the most important lessons he shares. Throughout his journey with Alibaba, Jack consistently surrounded himself with individuals who shared his vision and brought different skills to the table. He knew that in order to build something as massive as Alibaba, he needed the help of a dedicated and skilled team. Teamwork allows for the exchange of ideas, perspectives, and talents that would be impossible to achieve alone. Jack often mentions how his team at Alibaba brought invaluable insights that helped the company navigate complex global markets. The ability to collaborate, delegate, and trust others is essential for long-term success, both in business and in personal growth. No matter how talented or hardworking you are, a solid team can amplify your impact. One key aspect of successful teamwork, as Jack highlights, is the importance of aligning everyone with the same mission. When a group of people shares the same purpose, their combined efforts create a synergy that drives innovation and efficiency. Jack Ma emphasizes that success isn't about individual glory, it's about what the team can achieve together. For him, the strength of Alibaba came from the collective intelligence and determination of his team, not just his leadership. Teamwork is also vital in overcoming challenges. When faced with setbacks or difficulties, having a supportive and skilled team can make all the difference. Jack often reminds young people that in moments of crisis, your team becomes your greatest asset. Together, they can brainstorm solutions, adapt to changes, and keep pushing forward, even when things get tough. But beyond the professional world, Jack believes teamwork applies to life in general. Whether it's with family, friends, or colleagues, being able to work together toward a common goal creates lasting bonds and mutual support. And in a fast-changing world, the ability to adapt quickly is equally important. Let's explore why in the next topic. In today's world, change happens faster than ever before, and Jack Ma knows that the ability to adapt quickly is crucial for success. With technology evolving at a rapid pace, industries can transform overnight, and only those who are agile enough to adjust will thrive. For Jack, rapid adaptation is not just a skill, it's a mindset that every young person needs to cultivate if they want to remain relevant in an unpredictable world. One of the most striking examples of rapid adaptation in Jack Ma's career was during the rise of e-commerce in China. The Alibaba team needed to pivot quickly and adjust their strategies to keep up with the fast-moving market and emerging technologies. This kind of flexibility allowed them to stay ahead of competitors and continue growing in a highly volatile environment. Jack Ma believes that those who resist change or are slow to adapt will be left behind, no matter how skilled or experienced they are. But adapting quickly doesn't just apply to businesses, it's also essential for personal growth. Jack often tells young people to be open to learning new skills and to never become complacent with their current knowledge. In a world where trends, technologies, and market demands are constantly shifting, the most successful individuals are those who can quickly learn, unlearn, and relearn. He encourages young people to constantly push themselves out of their comfort zones and embrace new challenges with enthusiasm. Adaptation also requires resilience and a willingness to take risks. In times of uncertainty, making quick decisions can feel daunting, but Jack argues that it's better to move forward and adjust along the way than to remain stagnant. Being overly cautious can lead to missed opportunities, while those who are willing to adapt and evolve will discover new paths to success. Ultimately, the ability to adapt swiftly to new circumstances is what separates those who survive from those who thrive in today's fast-paced world. But as Jack Ma reminds us, having a resilient mindset is key to embracing these changes. Let's dive deeper into this next. Resilience is one of the cornerstones of Jack Ma's philosophy, and it's a trait that he believes every young person should cultivate. He often shares that life will inevitably bring challenges, but it's how we respond to them that defines our future. Jack himself faced countless setbacks, from being rejected from jobs to almost losing his company several times. But each time, he bounced back stronger, with a mindset focused on growth and opportunity. Developing a resilient mindset begins with accepting that failure and difficulties are a natural part of the journey. Jack encourages young people to embrace adversity as an opportunity to learn and grow, rather than something to fear. In fact, he believes that challenges are essential for building character and mental strength. Instead of being discouraged by setbacks, he teaches that resilience comes from seeing them as temporary roadblocks, not permanent defeats. A resilient mindset also requires patience. Jack often reminds us that success doesn't happen overnight and that perseverance is essential. In the face of obstacles, it's easy to become frustrated or lose motivation, but resilience is about continuing to push forward, even when progress seems slow. Jack Ma's personal journey is a testament to this principle. He had to wait years before Alibaba became profitable, but he never gave up. Resilience isn't just about enduring hardships. It's also about remaining optimistic in the face of uncertainty. Jack believes that maintaining a positive outlook, even when things aren't going your way, is crucial for keeping your momentum. A resilient mindset allows you to keep your eyes on the long-term goal despite short-term setbacks and helps you remain adaptable when circumstances change. At its core, resilience is about believing in your ability to overcome anything. It's not about avoiding challenges, but about meeting them head-on and finding ways to grow from the experience. And once you've developed resilience, you're in a better position to serve others, which is the next critical lesson. For Jack Ma, success is not just measured by personal achievements, but by the positive impact you have on others. He believes that the true value of success lies in how you can use it to help those around you. Serving others and contributing to society are principles that Jack encourages young people to embrace if they want to create a legacy that lasts. From the early days of Alibaba, Jack's vision was not only about building a successful company, but also about empowering small businesses and individuals to thrive in the global market. His belief that serving others creates greater value than serving yourself is central to his leadership style. Jack often emphasizes that if you focus solely on personal gain, your impact will be limited. However, when you shift your focus to how you can help others, you unlock the potential for lasting success and fulfillment. Service to others also fosters strong relationships and trust, which are invaluable assets in both business and life. Jack frequently mentions that building a successful company like Alibaba required not just smart business strategies, but also a deep commitment to helping employees, customers, and partners succeed. He believes that the success of a leader is measured by the success of the people around them. Furthermore, serving others brings a sense of purpose and meaning to your work. Jack Ma argues that fulfillment doesn't come from wealth or fame, but from knowing that you've made a positive difference in someone's life. Whether it's through mentorship, charitable work, or simply being a supportive team member, contributing to the success of others is one of the most rewarding aspects of any career. In the end, creating a lasting impact comes down to a mindset of service. Jack Ma's advice to young people is clear. The more you help others succeed, the more successful you will become. And this is a lesson he believes is best learned through experiences of failure, which brings us to the next insight. Jack Ma often says that failure is the best teacher, and one must learn to embrace defeat before truly appreciating success. His own life is filled with examples of early failures that ultimately led to greater victories. From being rejected by Harvard 10 times to the initial struggles of Alibaba, Jack learned that every setback holds valuable lessons that are essential for long-term success. Failure, in Jack's view, provides the perspective and humility needed to appreciate the victories that follow. When things don't go as planned, it forces you to reassess your strategies, improve your skills, and approach the next opportunity with more wisdom. Jack Ma encourages young people not to fear failure, but to see it as a necessary part of the journey. He believes that those who avoid risk and failure miss out on the valuable insights that come from these experiences. Jack also highlights that learning from defeats builds resilience, perseverance, and emotional intelligence, all qualities that are vital for success. When you experience failure, you develop the mental toughness to keep moving forward despite obstacles. This resilience is what allows you to take on even bigger challenges in the future, knowing that you've survived past defeats. Moreover, Jack believes that failure teaches gratitude. After experiencing setbacks, you become more appreciative of the small wins and the hard-earned victories that follow. This sense of gratitude keeps you grounded and reminds you of the hard work it takes to succeed. Jack Ma's advice is simple: savor your defeats as much as your victories because they are the building blocks of your success. As we approach the final insight, Jack Ma reminds us of one last essential key to future success: continuous learning. Let's explore why the future belongs to those who never stop learning. Jack Ma is a firm believer that lifelong learning is the key to staying ahead in an ever-evolving world. He frequently stresses that education doesn't end with school. It's a continuous process that should be embraced throughout life. The rapid advancements in technology and the constant shifts in the global economy mean that the most successful people are those who adapt by constantly learning and upgrading their skills. Jack's own life is a testament to this philosophy. Even as a successful entrepreneur, he continues to educate himself and learn from the people around him. Whether it's through reading, attending conferences, or simply listening to others, Jack believes that maintaining a curious mind is essential for growth. In his view, those who stop learning will be left behind, while those who stay curious will continue to evolve with the times. One of Jack's favorite pieces of advice for young people is to develop a habit of learning something new every day. This could be through books, online courses, or simply engaging in conversations with others who can offer different perspectives. Jack often references how crucial it is to learn from those who are smarter or more experienced. Surrounding yourself with knowledgeable individuals is one of the fastest ways to accelerate personal and professional growth. In the fast-paced digital age, Jack also emphasizes the importance of learning about new technologies and staying updated on industry trends. The world is changing faster than ever, and those who stay informed will have a significant advantage. Jack advises that young people should never be complacent with what they know. Instead, they should actively seek out new knowledge and skills to stay competitive in the marketplace. Ultimately, Jack Ma believes that the future belongs to those who are lifelong learners. Success in the future will be determined by the ability to adapt, evolve, and keep learning. As he says, "The day you stop learning is the day you stop growing." And with that, Jack Ma leaves us with a powerful reminder. The journey to success is not just about reaching the top, but about constantly improving along the way. Now that you know these 10 lessons, the question is, what are you going to do with them? Do you know what differentiates those who just listen from those who actually achieve success? It's no use just understanding, you have to apply. Are you ready to embrace failure and turn it into learning? Are you willing to work as a team, to innovate, to persevere when everyone else gives up? Remember, the future belongs to those who act now. With every challenge you face, come back to this video. Let these lessons guide you and renew your motivation. And when you need a new push, watch it again. You're closer to success than you think. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to keep learning with us. Don't miss the next video. How I Accepted Failure as Part of Success, Best Motivational Video, Jack Ma, where I'll reveal more powerful strategies to help you achieve your boldest goals.